Thank you guys for all being here so far. And we'll just wait a couple more minutes as people keep joining us. And for those of you who haven't seen for the last couple of days, we've been posting some highlights of cool upcoming events from our Decentraland DAO community members and grantees. So definitely check those posts out. And it looks like a lot of those people are here to share today. So really excited for that. Good morning, Bay. So as we're waiting for everyone to join us, we'll wait a couple more minutes and we'll get started. But we've invited community members of the Decentraland DAO and grantees, and we wanted to create the space in order to showcase all the amazing grantees and community members who have been working super hard over the last probably some of them months and months to create the amazing events, builds, and wearables for Metaverse Fashion Week 23. So everybody started bringing some of these people here on stage. What I would love for all of you guys up here, all you speakers, is to give a quick intro about yourself and tell about what event or wearable you're doing, and then we'll have a bunch of other questions for you guys. But let's get started with that. And you're welcome. How about Lastrom? Do you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. So we at Last Slice got a grant for redoing one of the plazas, and we wanted to put all of the marketplace website purchasing functionality of all Decentraland NFTs inside the world. We thought that for the longevity of the platform, for a user experience, we wanted to make sure anybody working inside or playing inside or enjoying inside the Decentraland environment should stay within the platform. We use the analogy, if you have your VR headset on and you want to buy a wearable, are you going to take your headset off, go sit at your computer, pull up the website, buy the wearable, complete the transaction, then go back and put your headset on just to have the wearable? So we want to make sure that these disconnected experiences are no longer. And so that's part of our grant, as well as questing and interactivity and re-engagement, not just engagement, for Decentraland. So for Fashion Week, we have a wearable, we have a quest, we have all of the marketplace functionality available. We have a lot of fun things going on in the scene that are interactive, that are re-engaging, that are highlighting content creators, not just what is a part of the main event, but also anyone that wanted to showcase the things they have for sale in their wallets. We allowed them to reserve a creator tent, almost as think of like a flea market or a swap meet. Everyone has their own little tent and can show off their custom items. So we're really excited to just be another showcase for content and those creators.
Yeah, I don't know how many of you guys were able to go to our in-world meetup where you guys gave us an amazing tour of everything. It was so much fun, and I highly recommend everybody check out the amazing work that you guys have been doing. I can't wait to dive in there. That's my next, after the spaces, that's what I'll be checking out. So is all the functionality working right now in there?
Yeah, everything's working. We have just disabled the Quest right now because our wearable is not published because of Polygon gas. So we haven't enabled the Quest, but the nice thing is it's going to be an ongoing quest, so don't feel like anybody's going to miss out. There's a lot of the supply of the items. We want people to have the item, to use the item in world. There's a lot going on in the scene. We're using a lot of different integrations of back-end services and managing players and interacting with the scene. So you can go in there and experience a ton of the stuff and purchase items just as you would on the marketplace website. There's also an Easter egg in there that does unlock a very, very sort of requested feature of Decentraland, and we were going to make this a smart wearable, if anybody remembers that, but smart wearables were sort of put on the back burner. So if you do find the egg, I hope you're pleasantly surprised with that functionality.
I saw you guys mention that. I was like, oh God, even more reason to go run around. Well, thank you for that intro. And who else wants to jump in and give us an intro and what they're doing for? Do you want to go ahead, Kanessa or Serena?
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Serena Ellis. I'm a performer and an artist. So I recently had a grant passed, which is a women's empowerment project with music and education. For Metaverse Fashion Week, I do have an event, and it's not exactly I'm hosting the event, but part of my project is to collaborate with brands. And this up and coming performance is tomorrow. It's going to be in Spatial, and it's hosted by Digital Fashion Week, which I actually was a speaker the summer of 2022, and so it's like really cool that we get to collaborate again. But yeah, I have a performance tomorrow, and what's really cool is that some of the projects that are involved are like Ready Player Me. The other one is The Hug, which is Mark Zuckerberg's sister. She has a project, and yeah, it's just a really cool collaboration. I'm going to be performing tomorrow from the 29th from 6 to 8 p.m. at Eastern Standard Time, and there's going to be some other performers that are characters, which is really cool. So if you want to see something that's like different, there's going to be a few different kind of acts. So hope you can come check it out, and I can post it or pin it if you'd like.
Yeah, for sure. I was trying to figure out the pinning functionality. Sometimes it works for me if it's been a little weird, but yeah, please do so. And Bay or Kanessa, would you guys like to jump in and share?
I guess I'll go. Hi, I'm Vanessa, community member and I guess emote designer. Made a couple emotes for the fashion show, and it's been really cool just to see people like take those and use them, and to try to like I don't know, like elevate and uplift and get more eyes on the wearable creators I made on my land. If anybody wants to go there, just a bunch of photo shoots. I think we've got about 100 there that people can go, and they're designed so that you can get really good close-up shots. Like you can walk into a collider, turn around, and it's got all of the instructions on how to do that. So if you are an accessory creator, I'm looking at CK Bubbles and anybody else that might have wearables that are harder to photograph, there's a lot of different tips there that people can use, and then different themed, like cyberpunk backdrops, like gold, luxury, rainbows. It's got a little bit of everything. So hopefully that if we all go and take beautiful pictures, put them on our social media, it'll get the reach of Decentraland out, hopefully a little bit. And I'm giving away 2 Mythics dresses, unless you don't want to dress. One for posting on Twitter and one for posting on Instagram. So go swing by and check it out.
No, wonderful. And I think we also posted it, I think a couple of days ago, your event. So you guys can go check that out, or you're welcome to pin it as well. And Bay, I would love to hear more.
Hey, Natalie, can you hear me, guys? Because I'm on super old tech.
Oh, yeah, totally. You sound
Oh, everything's breaking around me. So yeah.
I saw that in the Discord. I was like, no, how's your computer?
Yeah, it's all on and off. It's like I've got the gremlins, but it's been super fun the last few days. Like we've just been finishing preparations for the Dear Vivian installation. So as we were actually grantees last year, and then kind of did this just as an art piece for Metaverse Fashion Week. We created an installation as a tribute to Dame Vivienne Westwood, which, for those of you who've come across her work, she was a really influential British designer working from the 70s all the way up until last year, and devoted her last years of her life basically completely to environmental activism and economic activism for sustainability and kind of global change. So she kind of started in the punk era and went all the way through into climate activism. So this kind of spirit of rebellion all the way through 50 years. And when we thought about Metaverse Fashion Week, that sort of spirit we see coming through in Metaverse creativity, and we wanted to create something to really celebrate that. So we created this installation called Dear Vivian, which is an installation and a code breaking game. So we've been seeing some solutions coming through this morning, which has been so exciting, seeing people interact with the installation and the game. And Thursday night, we have an anti-fashion catwalk. So Vivian campaigned to have a more conscientious and kind of experimental approach to fashion, saying that we should really invest in designs that will last and express our individuality. So the anti-fashion catwalk is kind of celebrating that about Decentraland wearables. So we're encouraging everyone to come and get their photo taken. And a bit of a scoop for this Twitter space, that Meteor is a new magazine by the former editor of Wired magazine, and they are confirmed to cover the photos from the anti-fashion catwalk. So we're going to have our photos in Meteor magazine.
I saw you. That's awesome.
Yeah, so it's going to be so exciting. And Meteor, like this really interesting publication that are just getting started in things like AI and Web3, and trying to cover it from this glossy magazine perspective. So I think we're going to have a Twitter space before the catwalk with them, and then they're going to be covering the photos for us that we take during the catwalk itself.
Oh, wow. Thank you for hearing that. And Please, I think I know you were last. You're welcome. I don't know if you guys could hear me, but
Yeah, sorry, I didn't know. Did you say my name?
yeah. Go. I was just saying if you wanted to add anything, I know you guys are working on, you and Lastrom are part of the same project, but if you wanted to add anything, you're up here.
No, I mean, really, I think he covered pretty much everything. I just say definitely, drop by our scene, check it out. We're 2.5, maybe a little more months in out of our 6 months. So we're, not even halfway yet, but we've got some things up and running, for everyone to come by and check out. And so we'd love to have you. And we've got our live event coming up on Friday. So check it out. And it's on the events page. So thank you so much.
Yeah, and you're welcome also to pin anything up here too, if you like. And what I would love to ask all of you guys, I know you guys have all been working really hard, but maybe talk a little bit about what the process has been like for you guys as a team or individual for building for Metaverse Fashion Week this year. And I think probably some of you guys did stuff last year, and maybe talk about how different or similar it's been. And yeah, whoever wants to start first, go for it.
Okay, I'll take the awkward silence. I'll jump in there. But only I'll jump down real quick to let somebody else speak, but they can think about what they're going to say. But I think it seems like buzzier this year. There's been so much leading up to it, and what I'm really happy with is how the community has been involved. Last year, I felt like maybe the people that use Decentraland every day were more like spectators, and it was the big brands that kind of came in and did a lot of the work. And this year, I see friends like CK Bubbles. Lots of different people having different photo shoots or different fashion shows, and so I think that that's a huge benefit, is to actually have the people that love Decentraland enough every day to log in, that they're the ones actually putting the work on. Last year, it was about halfway through the show, I realized I was just buying all these wearables that were like big brands or anonymous brands, people I did not know. And so then I was like, no, I can't do this. And I made tried to make a pact to myself that for every anonymous wearable that I bought, I would buy from somebody here. So I'd make sure that I kind of like spread it out. But yeah, I would love to hear if anybody else is noticing the same thing, just more community members and getting involved like that.
Go for it, Serena.
I mean, Canessa just, hit it on the spot. So I would agree with her. I mean, I really don't have much to say after that, but yeah, I'm really excited because, I love that everyone collaborates together. I think that just makes it more sweet. And like I was saying before, I went to Digital Fashion Week this summer of 22, and it's really cool that I met them in real life and speaking about Decentraland, and then them coming into Decentraland and putting on events. So I think that's really special, and I'm looking forward to the future and what more is to come.
Wonderful. CK, you're up. I was trying to add you.
Hi, how are y'all?
Great. This is such a crowd. I'm so happy you guys are here. Yeah, would love, maybe since we missed the introduction from you, and also DCL curations too, and Lucky is new. Maybe you can start with let's jump back a little bit to your intro, and then you can tell us about what you're doing, and then talk about the process that we've been discussing.
Yeah, hi, I'm CK, or CK Bubbles if you know me from InWorld. I am a creative director and nail artist, and I make nail art IRL and in the Metaverse. For Metaverse Fashion Week, along with Unknower, Amanda Daiquiri, and Isa Amazing, we are bringing to life Bubble Worlds. And basically, Bubble Worlds is how I'm going to release different sort of creative and things that I'm dreaming of throughout time. So this first Bubble World is related to the Metaverse Fashion Week theme of future heritage, and I'm bringing to life the modern space age. So I'm taking, reference from the space age period of the 50s to 70s, where space exploration sort of pushed a lot forward and was a part of daily lives and culture. And so I'm looking at what is the future of that right now. And so that's the modern space age. And within that, I will teach you a little bit of the history of nail art, and the history of myself as a creator in the space and as a nail artist. And yeah, so that's kind of everything wrapped up in one.
What was the process like for you this year in building, and how do you see it different from last year?
Well, last year I came in, so I wasn't building last year. I just was arriving to watch Grimes perform for the closing performance. So I had no idea that this was what I could do a year from now. So yeah, I'm celebrating my year. And the process really was I was going to do it on my own land. I have a 1 by 1 parcel. And so it was a much smaller build with a little less experience in it, but I basically, just wanted to bring to life this idea, this creative I had around the theme once I saw the theme released. And I knew I wanted to bring something that was like very nail art heavy and nail art forward. I had already done the history of nail art experience in a presentation for an agency I worked for. So I was very familiar with the content of it. It was just about representing it in a different way. So basically, most of what was worked on was what does it look like and how are people going to interact with it and move around the space. So I started with AI, doing some quick AI searches as we all do these days, and then I took it into Photoshop and I kind of adjusted the render from AI so that it looked like it would make sense in a low poly model and could be recreated in 3D. And then Manadakri took all of those inspirations and took just like ran with it. She's a very talented 3D artist and brought to life this build that I had only seen in an AI picture. And then I worked with Anu, who brought his own creativity to the sort of function and how you could interact with the space and work with stuff. And yeah, so that was kind of the process, was just like very collaborative, working together. Issa and I did the emote. We actually finished that quite early on in the process. So Issa was a really good support and helping hand along the way, as I had a ton of questions about stuff I didn't know. And if I or like Ajab also helped me a lot. If we ran into blockers, it was like Mana and Issa and all these people who were just super helpful to collaborate and help us get there.
Oh, that's wonderful. I love hearing all the stories from everybody about your collaboration and the evolution of how like we all come into the space as, like little noobs, and then all the amazing possibilities and how we're all inspired by each other. I love those stories. Thank you so much, CK.
Of
And
course.
yeah, of course. And DCL Creations, welcome, and also welcome Fede. You finally made it up here. DCL Creations. I know you were saying you were doing some stuff with Meta Party too, right? And Frisky's here too. Woo! Oh my God, everyone's coming.
Yeah, so I'm not hosting any events myself, but Meta Party, they are doing I think 3 or 4 days, like every single day of Metaverse Fashion Week, they're doing a community show as well. So on the 30th. I think at 2:40 p.m. UTC, I'll be walking the runway, showing off some of our library collection that we have developed this year. And excited to show that off and just talk a little bit about our library experience, the wearables and the bonuses that they give, and hopefully drive more traffic for the library. And then I was talking with Fractillions, and well, it's kind of late now, so I might do it as a recap post Metaverse Fashion Week. But one of the ways that I kind of want to start using the library is having kind of a promotional section where we can put in these 3-minute long educational videos about upcoming events, and then people are encouraged to go watch those videos because they'll earn intelligence points and they'll be able to upgrade their wearables or unlock new wearables. So after Metaverse Fashion Week, we might put in a course or two about all the stuff that happened this year, and might do something about like the differences, and as you guys were discussing, kind of the evolution between last year and this year in terms of how Metaverse Fashion Week runs. And I will say I've been going through all the wearables and stuff for Metaverse Fashion Week, and there are so many cool ones, but there just aren't really any for like male avatars. So I actually just bought like a dress that I thought was really cool from Dapcraft, and I'm rocking a dress right now. But yeah, I would love to see some more creative male avatar stuff to rock.
Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing that. And Lucky, welcome. If you want to share, that would be great.
Okay. Hey guys, how are you? Can you hear me?
Yeah, go for it.
Excellent. I'm Lucky. I'm the Chief Meme Officer of the Museum District. We have been around since Genesis, and we have one of the grants last year. So for this Metaverse Fashion Week, we have 3 different events with different brands that we have been activating. We have Fabricant, we have Wild, and we have Def Squad. There are two Metaverse fashion brands that we have been working. And also, I think that we have just released today one of our most important projects, more artistic, I would say. During last year, we have been working with the Buenos Aires government, and we have done the 3D design of the Opera of Buenos Aires, that is the Colon Theater. So that is also going to be in the scene from today, hopefully for the next year. For the Colon Theater inauguration, we will be sending wearables based on the opera characters, which I think that is really cool. We were thinking how we can mix this sense of metaverse fashion with cultural relevant things. So we will be having wearables from Princess Turot and another character that is still not yet ready. So we haven't sent it to curation yet. But the idea is that these wearables will be representations of the one that the characters use in the opera. I have been sending a few screenshots on the events in the Discord DAO that you can see. And yeah, I think that this was probably I'm sending the event to here if someone wants to go. So yeah, this was, at least from the architectural point, the most complex project that we have been working on. We have to go to the National Opera, work with the architects from the opera, with the architects from the government to do this, and nothing else. I hope that you can go see the building, and I hope you enjoy it.
Wow, thank you so much. Yeah, I've been talking and watching that project for the last couple of weeks. It's incredible, and I love how you're working with the architects from the actual building and creating wearables inspired by the outfits from the opera. That's amazing. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna go explore there some more. I saw it before it was deployed officially, but yeah, that's wonderful to hear. When
Thank
is
you.
the
Yeah, the original architect is dead. Like I mean, the building has at least 100 years, and it's like
okay?
a 2 blocks building. But we are working with the piece in the column theater, so we have all the layouts, all the things, and all that need in order to do the metaverse version. And I think that is going to be really powerful. I think that once we have VR, the fact that people can go from every part of the world and just see how is the look and feel of the National Opera of Buenos Aires. That is one of the most important in the world. I think that is really cool. So
Yeah,
thank you.
I remember reading that it was, one of your goals is to make it accessible to people all over, Argentina, Buenos Aires, everywhere, to be able to access it. And it's everybody from around the world can also access it, which is wonderful.
Yeah.
Great. Well, let's see, Frisky, thank you for jumping up here. And I know that DCL Creations talked a little bit about what you guys are doing, but you want to share a little intro and yeah, dive into what you see also from last year versus this year's Metaverse Fashion Week.
Hey, what's up, guys? Sorry if I have a little bit of internet issues. My phone's kind of lagging right now. But MetaParty, we've been working pretty hard. Resonator CEO of MetaParty has been working hand in hand with a lot of the community leaders and the Decentraland Foundation to, I don't know, create certain events. So it's going to be a 4-day event. It's going to keep going on throughout the whole week, and I think it's from 2:30 to 3:30 p.m. UTC. Our team is like pretty diverse. We have everyone. I'm here in the United States. Most of the team is in the UK, but we also have individuals in Morocco and in Malaysia. So it's pretty cool, having such a global, diverse team. I also want to do a quick shout out to Sinful. If it wasn't for Sinful, we would have had devastating issues coming to streaming. The Steve Seiko, like the set we had in the parcel. So really want to highlight and say thank you once again for helping us out. And it shows you again, like the community leaders, like, working together to making sure that, Metaverse Fashion Week works, tremendously. And, can't really, just want to say, once again, thank you, Simple, for helping us out. I think, looking back last year, Metaverse Fashion Week 2022 to 23, I see a lot more, community engagement. That's one thing that I've noticed, seeing a lot of people, supporting each other, retweeting, any kind of activities they're doing during Fashion Week, which is really great. I'm seeing a lot of great involvement and engagement, which is super great. Just seeing all these individuals, and yeah, it's just super awesome. Most of the day I've been at work. I've been trying to, help out as much as possible. So, just want to do a shout out to Resonator. He's been working really hard and diligently to making sure that, all the Decentraland citizens have an amazing experience at, the Meta Party HQ, and, for all of us to have like a great time. And also T3. He's been working nonstop, doing coding, with the build and stuff like that. Also Judas for creating the amazing build as well. But those are my answers to questions. I'm open to any questions or any concerns anyone might have.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing. And hey, Fede, who joined us, I want to say hello to everybody and tell them who you are. And if you're able to unmute yourself, it's in the lower left corner. I know he was having some issues.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, perfect. So I was having some issues with my computer, so I switched to my phone. Hello, everyone. So a couple of you know who I am. I'm from the facilitation squad, and well, and not much to say. That I'm just like really happy to be part of this community, of this to hear all of you, the herd, the central and the content creators. So nothing. I just want to introduce myself for the ones that don't know who I am, and pass it again to Nat.
Cool, thanks. I'm so glad you're able to go up here. I know on the computer, on the desktop, it's always a pain to join. But yeah, and Lastrom, do you want to dive in and share? I know your project's been a massive one. Maybe share a little bit about your process for building and also like how you've seen the evolution of Metaverse Fashion Week.
Yeah, I'm in a unique situation where I work on a lot of what you guys see for Fashion Week from the foundation, the runway, the welcome area, the portable experience, any scene that needs help with. So I'm kind of in the background on a lot of things. So I get to see a unique perspective of how things come together this year, with it being more community focused on purpose from the foundation. And so it's very cool to see other community members step up and help each other out. And Nikki Fuego tried to reach out to me, and I apologize for not trying to be as responsive as I could with so much going on. But CK Bubbles and Unknower coming together, and Wisher Vodka, and everybody's sort of helping each other out. And so it sort of highlights the ethos of Decentraland, that not always do we need the foundation to put stuff on. Yes, they're sort of the beacon for the brands, but the experiences that the community members have and can come up with are just as great. They're fabulous, from the actual wearables to the stages and environment. So it's really cool to see more community engagement involved on purpose. And, it would have been really, really sad if this was the year of the community and there was really nothing. So I'm pleasantly happy and surprised and pleased. And I think everyone's done a great job. It's always a crunch to get it done, and there's always little minor things that you don't figure out. But I think so far, so good.
Wonderful. Yeah, I've been a big fan of everything you've done for a long time. I think I've said that before, but yeah, it's great to hear from you, since you have you're in so many places behind the scenes. So yeah, thank you for all you're doing for everybody. And Sinful, you want to share? You just got up here. Woo!
Hey everyone, I just heard my name, so I was like, let's go up. How's everyone doing today?
Good.
I'm really enjoying like the just when it works. I'm really enjoying walking around Neo Plaza and checking out all the builds. Bubble World, of course, like doing it big. I'm so proud. CK. And of course, Nikki Fuego build that was pretty cool. And I've been just enjoying going around and even collecting some cool wearables.
Yeah, I know. I know I'm gonna be doing that. I have like 2 wallets, one with some mono, one with none. So I'm like, switching to my mono one constantly. I'm like, I just keep buying things. I know that's what I'll be doing the rest of the day. But thanks for coming up here and sharing. And Bay, do you want to dive in a little bit? I think you haven't shared yet about how you've seen the evolution of and how your process was for building.
Hey, yeah, I think really echoing like what a lot of people have said about how this year it's really community focused, and just being inspired by that. I think that's why we stayed in Decentraland, which is we came in and just saw this kind of pool of creativity happening, and seeing that reflected in Metaverse Fashion Week this year is really exciting. Like I've got my alarm clock set for 11 p.m. for us to go to Low Poly Models Worlds celebration at 11 for us. So that's in 20 minutes. Because just seeing them as one of these great Decentraland teams as well that are out, and they've been a massive inspiration for us this year. Yeah, CK, obviously, seeing Canessa doing the work in the FAFO sessions as well through the Decentraland DAO and CBD, just been really, really inspiring. So I think we were, hopefully it's going to come out, but we were asked by quite a big magazine this week to sort of talk about our favorite designers in the metaverse. And I think they were kind of hoping for the big brands, but we were like, low poly models world, House of Frago, CK Bubbles. And so we really want to start seeing these brands appearing. I don't even know, they're not brands, you know, these art studios, these creative studios. It's so exciting to see them in the same plazas and the same program space as the big brands, because really there isn't any difference at the moment. And for us as artists, the people that are really inspiring us are definitely the people creating the community.
Yeah, you're so spot on. All the wearables I bought my another Dr. Drip, you know, Meta Party. Everyone, it's usually people I know. Like, what are my friends making? What are these amazing, like, amazing designers blowing my mind today? So.
Yeah, and for like Super Nina as well, like the Gabba remote referencing 90s dance culture from Holland. And I discovered Edo when I was shopping before the fashion week, like last week, with my kids, because, you know, obviously they're getting really excited by it as well. Like, we can dress mom for fashion week. Like, okay, these are Edo boots referencing Japanese mochi, and this is a outfit by, I don't know if you know even who they are in Decentraland, but someone called Ket and Chick for Dude First. Like, there's a hoodie and some leggings and just these things coming out that are these cross-cultural connections, and really coming from kind of what would be the streets in Decentraland. You know, it feels like this urban movement that's coming from people, just creatives creating for people that are in the community like them, and that's where the really exciting stuff is coming from for us.
Totally. I think, Serena, have you spoken yet about that evolution? I don't know if I missed you, but if you want to jump in. If you're able to unmute yourself. If not, we'll move on.
Sorry, it's a little choppy. I couldn't really hear Bay, so I think I got rugged.
Oh, no, I was just saying, if you want to share, I don't know if you've gotten a chance yet to share your thoughts about how you've seen the evolution of Metaverse Fashion Week from last year to this year, and how your process was for doing your events this year has been for you.
Since last year, I honestly, I don't really remember me coming to the event last year. So I'm not really sure of the difference, but I know that this year definitely seems like a lot more of the community is a part of the process, which I really appreciate. Same thing for the music festival. It seemed like this year they really, you know, highlighted the artists, and I think that's super critical for Decentraland to progress. And I think from this point on, it's just going to get better. So definitely, I appreciate how they're highlighting artists. And for my process, I didn't get to perform last year, but this year it's really cool because I get to kind of cross perform in Decentraland, Spatial, and I'm also performing in Monaverse. So I just really think it's really cool how some other metaverses are also collaborating with Decentraland. I think that's also gonna, you know, be good for the metaverse as a whole if we continue to collaborate with all the different metaverses. So that's what I see a little bit of a difference this year, or just in general. But yeah, that's really what, you know, my perspective. And yeah, I'm just really looking forward to seeing everything, and I can't wait for the next couple of days.
Awesome, thank you for that. And I had another question I would love for everybody here in the speaker audience to share. What advice would you guys have for those beginners, or for people jumping in, being kind of like what we were last year, all excited for this? What advice would you give them for how to get started, or for them wanting to do something for next year? What kind of tips would you guys offer them? And let's start with Lastrom.
That's a good question. You know, I think you brought up a good point that is sort of missing in part of this entire Plaza community-driven experience is exactly that. What do you do? Where do you go to get started? So I personally would love to see something like that in these events. You know, if you want to be an artist, as a performing artist or a visual creation artist, having a space as part of these events almost like not a job fair tent, but this is how you get involved, because everyone can say you can join a community, you can learn by doing, you can do all of that. But again, let's focus in on the platform. I'm a new user. I'm walking around this crazy new metaverse world, and there's all kinds of FUD and noise and negativity everywhere. And I show up to the welcome area, and they've done a great job with the maps and with showing content and teleporting. But to your point, how do I get involved? And so I think that's a great sort of lightning rod, just a wake up call of reality that we need to be better about putting content in world that will attract the people that are there that are new and keep them there to expand it, whether they become a wearable creator, whether they are a visual performer, or whether they are a model or a programmer.
No, love that. And I think that seems like a perfect opportunity for, I think, yeah, DCL Creations, you're up here, right? Like, how do we connect or like create a world, a build in part of that, the Neo area, where just for that, like what you're saying last term, like to be like, hey, you inspired? Come check this out. Come start learning, or be direct into your library, take this course and learn from this. Here's Nikki Fuego. Come learn from Nikki Fuego. Or because I love how more and more what I'm seeing in the community, which I love, is that collaboration between builders, between spaces, and everyone helping each other. So, go for it. I think we were going to say something last.
No, all I was going to say is, yeah, that's amazing. It's just, I feel like a lot of people get ADD or even hyper ADD in the space. And so much so that, at the foundation, we've created the portable experience that has info to jump right to an event link, that has a teleport to make you jump right to, so that you don't have to have a tab open for the events. You don't have to have a tab open for the map. You don't have to have a tab open for all of this stuff, or a tab open for the documentation. I think if there's a way that we can highlight someone that's already done that and say, okay, boom, here is the welcome area with all of the info to get started, or here's the education info from DCL Curations, go here. Instead of, well, connect with this person for this, that one for that, and this and that. I think we just need to start as a community focusing on these efforts. And that's one of the reasons why we kind of created Angzar, was to try to bring all of this information sort of together in one area.
Yeah, I mean, and also like even from all the work you've done in the past yourself, I've watched your tutorials when you were teaching everybody to build, so you come from that background of helping community members do that. So it's, yeah, I think that would be so wonderful to see happen. And, next year, let's see if we can all make it happen. I'd love to help with that. So keep me in the loop, whoever gets it started, or I'll get it started. Yeah, let's see, CK, wanna jump in on this, answering this next?
What was the question again, if you don't mind repeating?
Asking for the newbies, or for people jumping in and getting inspired, like what kind of tips would you provide for them for getting started or start participating and creating what you guys have all been doing?
Just show up and engage. That's kind of like how it started for me. I came in for a performance, like I said. Absolute Land was the next 2 weekends, was like a Coachella activation, and so I just like showed up and I hung out with everybody and I partied with the baby dolls. I won best partier of the weekend on the second day and got some free wearables, and like all I did was just show up and be myself, and that kind of like allowed me to like meet all the people in the community that are here in this space and all the leaders and everything. And then from there, when I saw a fashion grant, in the moment I was like, oh, I shouldn't apply for this. There's no way I'll win this grant. Like, I'm so new. There are so many other people who are talented and deserve this. Like, there's no way I'm going to win it. And then I did, and I got to make a wearable with Mitchie Todd. And that kind of like showed me that it didn't matter if I knew how to use Blender or any of the tools, but I could still create somebody. And then that led to another collaboration with Mana Daiquiri, where we made our intricate nail sets. And it's really just kind of snowballed from there. So it's just like, be yourself, engage with people, say hello, get to know people, and don't be afraid to ask to collab, because there's a lot of people here who want to like help other people and also just like want to create. That's what I seek in this space, is I just want to create for creation's sake, and I want to keep pushing myself in my creations.
I love that. And I mean, it's almost like everyone creates like their own impromptu mini mentorships. You meet these cool people and you're like, I always say I'm like the eternal fangirl in this space, and I'm definitely come with that spirit too, CK. Like, you just like, whoever you inspires me, I just tend to like dive in, try to learn however I can. And yeah. So let's go with Bay. Do you want to jump in?
Yeah, it's really funny you said about fangirl, because that's just what I feel like. I'm this key fangirl. It's just like, oh my god, that's so cool! Like, just with all the builds. So I think it's approaching it with that. I don't know. It's not a mindset, because that sounds really kind of boring. It's just that enthusiasm for the space, that if someone's got that enthusiasm, then everyone's so welcoming and everyone's so happy to share what they're doing, that anyone that demonstrates enthusiasm for Decentraland and building and creating, I think there's a really open playing field right now about you can bring your style, you can bring your background, you can bring whatever you want to create and whatever you want to try. Everyone's really open to that. There's no hierarchy of art forms or no kind of hierarchy of, oh, what do you bring to this space? As soon as you start building, everyone's so enthusiastic about every project. It's just really felt like that's a home for artists. And I think that anyone coming into the space can start creating quite quickly with free tools, which is a massive advantage of Decentraland, in that you can just download Blender, do some of the courses with the donut, start watching courses by Lustrum and see. I don't think I've watched a course by CK, but CK might have courses. But Low Poly Models World, KJ's courses. There's the Decentraland Foundations courses from all of the different training courses that they run over the last few years. Obviously, Odd Jobs doing an amazing job in kind of getting the world's concepts down onto video as well. So everything you need to know is freely available. The tools are freely available. Now with Worlds, that you can have this place to start creating and practicing and building, that you can invite people to and not have to commit just yet to land. I think it's a really, really interesting place right now to be building. And I'm so evangelical about it. I was not a gamer at all. Like when I first entered Decentraland, it was through an NFT gallery that I was creating an exhibition for, and I was so skeptical. I remember going like, I don't know what this was going to be. Like this seems just something out of my realm as anything that I'd done before. As soon as I started meeting the people in Decentraland, that was the massive difference. Just like, this is so inspiring in terms of the creativity coming out of this space. And that's when you kind of stay and start playing. So yeah, evangelical fangirl is the way to go, I think.
I love that. I need a shirt that says fangirl, like my opening. Anyway. I totally agree with you, especially with Worlds. For so long I worked on different grants, but I was always so scared. I wanted to like test builds and do stuff. But now with Worlds, I have a place that I can do that practicing, which I think is so important, especially when you're starting out. I was so afraid to break anything. I didn't want to like, oh, here's our, you can have access to this. And I was like, oh my God, I'm totally going to mess it up. But in Worlds and having that access is just the game changer, I think, that I've been seeing. Kanessa, do you want to dive in?
Yeah, so you were talking about how people get started in DCL if they're looking at the world today and they want to get involved. I think just know your why. Like, why do you want to get involved? Do you want to find a career here? Do you want to use it as your form of artistic expression? Like, will a land build, will that be your canvas? Because before you go anywhere, you should know your why. And then if your why still brings you here, I think try to meet find your people, and like there are so many people here who are ready to collaborate, that they burst those gates down instead of being gatekeepers when they could be. I mean, the knowledge here that you need to be a builder or 3D modeler or SDK coder, it's complicated. And so it'd be very easy for people to kind of hoard that for themselves. And all I've seen is just people really, really welcome, like ready to share it with other people. I know AJ in the FAFO has just done wonders. But I think finding not just about learning, any YouTube tutorial can teach you how to learn, but I think it's more important is to be connected, because this job is so solitary. If you're a builder, whether you're building builds or models, I mean, you're not at an office working with other people. And so having that connection to other people that are working behind a computer all day, like making these beautiful things, I think that long term is what's going to keep you here, are the people that you meet along the way.
Yeah, I love that. And we have a new request to speak. And if you want to introduce yourself, Specimen, you're welcome to.
Oh, hello. I didn't realize that I got brought up here. Hi. Hello. Hi there, Twitter. Hello, Decentraland. It is I, 13. Good to see you. Yeah, I was being brought up here. Somebody was talking about how we kind of bring new users into the fold. And I think it was Bay that mentioned something about mentoring. And that was right up the alley of a conversation that we had either in a CBD space or a late night Discord VC. And it was there's another platform of a game I played a long time ago, and they have like this mentorship program where people apply to be mentors. And then anybody that's new can go see that list. It's like right there. It's up at the top whenever you spawn in. It tells you about it or something. It's like you can find one of these like 500 mentors or however many there were, and the mentee goes and completes a set number of tasks. And it's not supposed to be like a 1 day thing. It's supposed to take a little while. It's supposed to be this retention holding idea here. So not only does the mentee receive rewards when they complete it, the mentor receives rewards whenever they actually walk mentee all the way through the process. And this is like a shooter type game, so they have to go hunting with them and all that. So spending time together in the same vicinity or whatever, blah blah blah, and then these other various tasks of sorts. And it's something that I hadn't given a whole lot of thought to necessarily. It was more like an offhand idea. But I, just being here, listening to what was said, maybe it's a better idea than I first gave it credit for.
I think that's awesome. It makes me think also of like what Odd Job is doing. He's having those tour. He's giving people tours of the Metaverse Fashion Week and people doing things like that. Everyone kind of CBD and all the individual community members here doing those type of roles. But it would be really cool that we have like something like that. Like when you enter Decentraland, like, hey, want a mentor, and then you're like kind of give them a pathway that's like they can do like intro mentorships, like you're saying, get POAPs or whatever. Some actually better than POAP, wearable. Get a cool wearable, like I think DCL Creations. I think this is another cool opportunity. Do you want to speak up on this too?
Yeah, I was I was just thinking that that's pretty interesting, and we actually, so I don't know if Mimsy is on, but Mimsy, she's one of the course creators, and she actually just created 2 courses on how to become a course creator, so that as we try to knock out another 100 or so courses throughout this year, people that are interested in certain topics understand the minimum criteria for making a video, how to properly outline your script, and how to properly set up quiz questions and quiz answers, and then how to do like video editing and things like that. And so with the expansion of the library, we were thinking of creating some sort of instructor role for certain course creators, where new course creators that want to come in could be assigned somebody like Mimsy, or Green Cipher has been doing some great videos as well, just to help those people out in developing and creating content. I think it would be awesome to have just an overall mentor thing. Like one of the other things we want to put in now that we have over or nearly 50 courses is like a search function and a categories function. So it'd be really cool if there was a category for, let's say, coding, because I saw a DevDog on here earlier. It doesn't look like he's on now, but DevDog did 2 5-part SDK series for us. So like one of those series steps you through beginning to end how to create a game in Decentraland. And it would be cool if you went to like the Blender, the SDK category, and it's had like a list of mentors. That would be pretty awesome. And then for some reason, I couldn't hear Lastrom when he was talking. It's probably a me issue, but I heard you say something about the curation station, and I was actually going to reach out to Lastrom about the Angzar, because one thing that I want to test out is I would like to ideally be able to package up my library by like bookshelf, a screen, and the quiz booth, and be able to put that in other places around Decentraland, but still have it hooked up to our database for questing. So, for example, if Decentral Games wanted all the Decentral Games courses in their casinos, they could rent out a couple of bookshelves and place them in, and then through our library or course repository, they would be able to select which courses that they want to be available on those shelves, and then people could come in and take the courses and still earn intelligence points and stuff like that. So I don't know, I'm still waiting on like quotes on how hard or easy something like that would be, and what that would cost, but yeah, these are just things that I've kind of been thinking about for next steps, and I think it sounds really cool. Mentor idea.
I was just thinking about something like that. That would be really cool to be able to port that experience. And I just saw Matamiro, you got rugged somehow. I'm so sorry. I don't know if you want to say anything. You haven't spoken up. I would love for you to say hello to everybody.
Yeah, no worries. I'm just listening in awe. So many great stuff going on, and really excited to see what everyone's doing. Nothing really to add. I'm just an operator, and this is a room full of amazing creators. So really happy to be here.
Welcome to the Fangirl Club, or the Fangirl what did you call it again? I can't even pronounce it right now. Evangelical. The Fangirl Evangelical Club. Yeah, and I think we're gonna start wrapping it up. I don't know if I could keep talking to you guys, all of you, for hours. But if you have any closing anything you want to say before we close it out, feel free to just unmute yourself. And one thing before we end is we do plan on doing this every couple weeks. If you guys have any ideas for cool topics for our next ones, please DM me and Fractillions on Decentraland DAO Discord, or just message the Twitter here with ideas. And I would love to work with all of you guys to come up with a cool idea for series, because I think having conversations like this are always so much fun, And yeah, so with that note, if anybody wants to share any closing remarks, I'm really excited to jump into the world. And again, for all of you who are just joining us, I've been posting a lot of the events, and check out our past tweets that have links to their events. And yeah, and this recording will be up as well, so you are able to definitely go follow and like everybody here. They're all amazing in their own way, and I'm a big fan of all of them. But yeah, okay, I'll leave it with that. And you guys, if any of you guys want to share some closing remarks, please unmute yourself.
I just wanted to jump in quickly and also shout out everybody involved with the Meta Tokyo Creator Street. Josh, SRGH, and I were fortunate to work amongst those creatives there, like Idolina, Tune, Super Nina, Kay, and Yankee. And that street's pretty awesome. So if you want to go check that out, I highly suggest you head over to that area as well, because it's got a lot of sort of reflection and celebration of Japanese culture, and how a lot of our art styles are inspired or a reflection of Japanese culture. So I highly suggest you go check that out. That's all I wanted to add.
Awesome. Thank you, CK. Does anyone else have anything they want to close out with? Please unmute yourself.
Hey guys, so you had mentioned that you guys are trying to do these events more often. I think that's a very good idea. I am totally going to be here every week. I'm hoping to see, like, if it continues to be on a Tuesday, I'm hoping to see more Tuesday events. So I'm bullish. And just closing thoughts for everyone that may be listening, that may be just coming on Decentraland for the first time or coming back. Just be patient. Keep an open mind, and yeah, connect with some people, because the metaverse is so much better with people than it is alone. So those are my closing thoughts. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Sinful. Yeah, and I guess anybody else have anything? Knessa.
Could I just make a shameless plug? I hate promoting myself, but I love promoting other people. KJ Walker is celebrating 4 years in Decentraland today. And so her party is beginning. If you can make it there, the coordinates are 72, -24. And the build is awesome. I'm like already totally impressed. So I know she's done a lot for us just as a person, but her tutorials and everything, Decentraland wouldn't be what it is today without KJ. So if you can come out and support her, I know that would mean a lot. So I'll see you there.
Awesome. And I think, Specimen, you have your hand raised for your...
Yeah, it's me again. So here we are in a wonderful and happy space with all sorts of friendlies, and I just love you all. And honestly, Decentraland has been the thing that attracted me to it was the vibrant community of just devs and artists, and the quality of content creators and developers in this space. It's only been just leveling up, level up after level up after level up, and I love to see it, and I continue to see it, and man, just keep it the fuck up.
Love that. Well, with that, I'm definitely we're hoping to do these either weekly or bi-weekly, and I do love Tuesdays, so I'm a sinful. You hit that on the have that on, and we'll keep you posted. So please reach out to me. And I want to thank every single one of you guys for being up here and taking the time to share with us what you're doing. And I think it's time for us to all jump in and check out some of these amazing worlds. And yeah, I guess we'll close out with that, and we'll catch you guys next time. Much love, amazing people. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye bye.